Okay, so I found more information, and I thought I would send some more information back in time for people who it might be useful for. Okay, so again, I'm going to put things into context for you, okay? So on present day Earth, people can go out and buy like gemstones, right? Like diamonds, and you can't buy moissanite, but you can buy sapphires and stuff like that, right? But in the universe, like big picture, no one can go out and buy those things because number one, they're not being sold, and number two, even if they were, they would be too expensive for anyone to afford, right? So that you have a context of what's happening. Yeah, and how lucky you are, or how lucky you were. Okay, so in the last video, I told you moissanite doesn't appear naturally. Like I thought it was man-made, but it does appear naturally. And so it says that it's extremely rare. It's primarily found in meteorites and upper mantle rocks. But most moissanite that's naturally occurring, it's too small to make jewelry out of. Like sometimes they only exist in like inclusions inside of diamonds, like they're super tiny. So 3,000 years ago, they were making big giant stones of moissanite. So, like it's basically impossible to find, okay? Impossible to find. And anyone can go out and buy it, and it's like relatively inexpensive for the average person to buy. Okay, so some differences. So a diamond is almost pure carbon, right? And it has a hardness of 10. And it's so funny because like the De Beers company, right? Like diamonds are forever, and diamonds are like the hardest substance known to man or something like that. But it's like, why would you care if you only live for like 70, 80 years? Why would it matter to you that a diamond lasts forever? Do you see what I mean? But a diamond would matter to us. But okay, so a diamond, and I'm talking naturally occurring and lab grown, it's the same. So diamond is almost pure carbon, and it has a hardness of 10. So it's like the hardest substance like you can find, right? Moissanite is silicon carbide, and it has a hardness of 9.25. And then sapphire is aluminum oxide, and it has a hardness of 9. And then there's other gemstones, but they're like really soft. Like I didn't notice it until like sometimes I would buy like costume jewelry, and I'd hit the jewelry on something, and there would literally be a scratch in the stone, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like that's so soft, right? So these are probably the ones that you want to look at. Oops. That will last you a whole lot longer. Okay, so I'll give you some rough numbers. So a 1 carat of all of these, a lab made 1 carat of all these, so 1 carat diamond, lab grown, not naturally occurring, would cost like maybe $1,000, like here. So it's still pretty expensive, but a naturally occurring one would probably be like $2,000 or $3,000 for 1 carat. And then moissanite, you're looking at maybe like $100 for a carat. And that's pretty much, you'll only find lab ones. And then sapphires, you can get them like really cheap, lab grown sapphires, like maybe $30, right? Like, so I remember I bought a lab grown sapphire on the internet, like on eBay. And I think I bought it for like $30. And I remember buying it, and I'm just like, I know it's lab, but this is probably not real. And they're like, no, it's probably real. I guess probably for $30. And they're like, yeah, they have so much of it. Like, the market's flooded with it, so it's probably real. Like, okay. You can get a sapphire for like $30, like a 5-carat big hunkin' thing for $30. That's fucking bananas. Okay, so if males are going back in time and they're trying to find this stuff, so I just quickly looked it up, and like there's bigger factories, like one's called Chatham Laboratories. Yeah, it's more like a laboratory than a factory, but that you can buy them from. There seems to be a lot of moissanite, lab-grown moissanite coming from India, and that's where I bought like the custom-made moissanite ring. So you could probably find like some really good labs in India if you're looking there. Yeah, big box stores or like, like retail stores, everything's jacked up like crazy. Like you wouldn't even believe it. Oh, they're telling me that they can find diamonds pretty cheap too. That's crazy. I didn't know that. They won't advertise it anywhere though, I'm sure. But even so, I remember watching like a documentary about sapphires like a few years ago, like naturally occurring sapphires. And there's a whole trade in India of sapphires where people will just go from a mine, go to the dealer, go from a mine, go to the dealer. And the dealer is buying it for like maybe like $5, something like that, maybe $4 a stone, something. And then they turn around and sell it for $30, and they think they're making a killing off of all these stones. But like, it's like, do you see what I mean? Like, it depends on how you value it. So you could go to India and get like a ton of naturally occurring sapphires if that's what you want. Yeah, so for us it's probably better that they don't have any kind of like inclusions and stuff like that, but okay. So if you're making synthetic sapphire, this is what it looks like. They're like little boules. And so I just quickly watched like this video, and he says that they have like a sapphire powder, and then they just like add water to it, and then it drips into like these containers, and it just makes pure sapphire. I don't know where humans got that idea, because y'all are fucking morons. So this did not come from humanity, okay? But look at all that. So that's rough lab-grown sapphire, and it's chemically the same as a naturally occurring sapphire. And so it's better to buy them like already faceted, because like I think all the price you're paying is like all in the faceting, right? Like to make it like all pretty and nice. But like even on eBay, so this is synthetic ruby, which is just sapphire or corundum, right? And this is a 175 carat boule, and it's being sold for $55. 175 carats of sapphire being sold for $55. Do you like? Do you see how we just don't understand like how you guys price things? It makes no sense. Okay, so I'll show you from left to right. So left is a natural diamond. The center is a moissanite, and I tried to get the flash because it. And then on the right is the lab-grown diamond, and so they look sort of similar, but I really like the moissanite because it's like it like flashes different colors. Like it's more shiny, you know what I mean? And it doesn't just flash like red, it like flashes like blue too, like fire and ice. That's how they market it, the moissanites. Yeah, so like diamonds, people think that they are really rare and hard to find, But that's only because De Beers had a monopoly on the diamond mines. That's why you think that their diamonds are everywhere. They're still expensive to get, but they're everywhere. It's so funny because moissanite, like, you can't find like a moissanite like to put into jewelry. Even here 3,000 years ago, you can't find one naturally occurring. But you can buy a lab one, which is exactly the same for pretty cheap. Like, do you see what I mean? Like, it's sort of like, it doesn't make sense. And then, so once, to find a diamond that is a different color, like other than like, you know, the yellowish diamonds, I don't know how rare that would be. Like, next to impossible. But you can grow a lab-grown diamond that has like green and blue and yellow and white all in one. You can grow one. And you can grow like the bicolored diamonds, like whatever colors you want. And I looked it up and I was like, well, how do you make them different colors? And they just, they add, I think it's like trace elements of like titanium, like trace elements of other elements, and it just turns them that color. And then these are the multicolored moissanites. Or they call them party? Wait, no, these are moissanites. These aren't sapphires. Sorry. Yeah, these are like the more shiny than the diamond, right? So it's a different chemical composition. These ones like are a little bit more shiny, but you can find them in all different colors too. They're saying the hardness doesn't matter too much to the girls. They just like pretty shiny things. Pretty shiny things that no one else can have. That's it. So the left is pad paracha, and I love the pad parachas. Like, they're so nice. So it's like a orangey pink, but sometimes you can find like pad parachas that are like orangey pink, and then they have specks of like white in them, and then, oh, they're just so beautiful. And you can get them lab made for like hardly anything, right? And then that's like the party sapphire. I love that one. The one that like sort of looks like earth. It's like blue and green and like almost brown. It's so beautiful. Oh, that's it. Okay. Yeah. So that's basically, yeah, it's sort of like a shopping trip for the females. And information sent back in time, right? But yeah, there you go. Absolutely priceless things that you will never find anywhere else, that will never be created again, being sold on clearance by humans on Earth. Just make it make sense. It doesn't make any